Okay, sports fans, here's our next project guitar. This is a Mitchell, as you can see by the writing on the handwriting on the wall, sort of kind of. Or can you see? That's the Mitchell label. I got this at the flea market last week. There's the head. It needs a lot of love. It's kind of beat up. It's missing part of a head. It only had 3 strings on it. There's some cracks in the body. But the real thing that makes me nervous about whether or not this is going to happen or not is that the neck, well, actually the neck looks a little better. It does have a truss rod, so this is adjustable. So we may be able to save this and make it play pretty good again. What's the back look like? The back doesn't look too bad. It's got a big gouge out of the back here. Or is that something? No, that's something that's added on. There's something else that was sticking to it, some other wood. So that's actually going to clean up pretty good. So the back looks good. There's a few chips and dings. It's had a hard life, I think. There's some cracks and stuff in the side, or chips in the side. It's been bounced around. But overall, I'm hoping that it's going to work out good. So I'm going to clean it up and see if we make it play. So this is our next project of the day. There's something rattling around on the inside. I don't know what the heck that is yet, but I'm going to take a look and see what's rattling, see what falls out. So this should be interesting. Could be a dead squirrel or something. I don't really know. So let me take a shake. There's some flakes of something in here. Oh, it's a piece of leaf, actually. So this has been outside and neglected. Or there's a tree growing in there. I can't tell which. So we'll clean it up a little bit. We'll get the vacuum out and we'll suck it out a little. Get all that junk out of the inside, as well as the outside, and then we'll check the neck and see if the truss rod is adjustable. If the truss rod works, we should be able to make something out of this. If the truss rod doesn't work, it's kind of screw, blue, and hot tube. Let's do a little vacuum here. See if we can't get anything out of there. It's about as much as we can do for now. So job one would be to take the strings off. Well, it does have a truss rod. It's right in there. We could see if we get a wrench on that. I'm not sure what size it'll take, but we'll try that first. Whoa! Oh, you try to get a better look, huh? A bunch of wise guys pushing me around, huh? So there's a truss rod adjusted nut. And I'm not sure what truss rod wrench size will work, so we'll try a couple of different ones. But it's real close to the outside, so it shouldn't be too hard. Okay, so if I put my straight edge on here, the neck is pretty close to straight. It's got a little bit of a curve down here, but the wrench goes in. And maybe we can take a little bit of the slack out. We'll do a little righty-tighty stuff and see if that'll flatten it out. Because there's no tension right now on the truss rod at all. So we'll give it a little bit of a spin and see if that changes the dynamic of the truss rod itself into becoming more of a guitar. So that's not bad. All right, so with that adjustment, now I've given it a bit of a back bow. So I may want to come back the other way and try loosening it just a bit and see if that'll flatten it out. So we'll go back in here, try to find the truss rod hole, and it's taken the square wrench, so that's nice. Makes things simple. So we'll take it back a half turn, pop that off, put the straight edge back on, and geez, I think that straightened it out. So we've got something to work with here. So this may be doable, absolutely doable. Nice, a very happy surprise. I paid, what did I pay for this? I paid $25 for this at the Rain and Flea market. And it may be a better find than I thought it was originally. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take the strings off, we'll clean it up, we'll take the tuners off the head because they're a train wreck, and we'll clean up the whole guitar and try to make it better, just from a physical standpoint. And like I said, with the truss rod working, big thing. Okay? So, all right, I just went digging through the body and found some loose stuff in there. There was an old string. When I took the strings off, the saddle had a wedge underneath it to raise the saddle up. So we may be able to replace the saddle. And now we're going to, and I took all the junk out of the inside of the guitar. There wasn't much. There was a piece of broken string. Now I'm going to take the tuners off. Because one of these is broken. Anyway, I've got some new tuners to replace these that I ordered the other day when I first got the guitar. I may look through my pile and see if I've got a straight back set. Because this has the screw right off the bottom. The new ones I got are off to the side. So if I could find the same type of tuner, which I might have in my pile. I got a collection of tuners that I've acquired over the years, you know. And if I can find some that are the same, that would be wicked easy to replace these. But first thing we'll do is take everything off. We'll clean it all up. This may actually turn out to be a pretty good rescue for a hell of a cheap price. These things aren't very expensive now. I think this is about a 15-year-old guitar, and I can find them used on eBay in reverb for between $150 to $200, and some other people have them priced up that are just ridiculous. But I think that's about the right price, about $150 to $200 with this in good condition. Which this is not, but the wood looks in fairly decent shape. There's, like I said, there's a crack in and I showed you on the front of the guitar. I don't know that it goes all the way through. Actually, I could stick my hand in and see and feel if it goes all the way through or not. See, this tuner here has nothing holding it in. It was missing the guide post on the other side, but all the rest of them are still there. So I got to take that apart from the other side to be able to get them out. Some more dust. And those cracks do not go all the way through. It's a crack in the top. Because I can stick my hand in there and I can feel. I don't know if you can see, there's a crack that runs all the way down here and here. But I think it's just in the surface finish. Because when I put my hand in and feel, there's nothing gone on the other side. So this may turn out to be one heck of a good rescue. Saved just in the nick of time. So I'm just going to finish taking these tuners off. That's an 11. That's a 10. These are a 10. So we'll get a 10 wrench on here. That's going to fall right out as soon as I loosen it up. Alright, so that's free and that's off. There's the bushing come out. These look like they're a pretty good size hole, so I may be able to drop the new tuners in simply without even having to re-drill them. And if that's true, I mean, that's a gigantic step for mankind, because it always ends up being 27 different things you got to do that you weren't expected to do when you start a project. like this, but I like the look of the Mitchell. And at first, I've seen these before and kind of poo-pooed on them, but they got pretty good reviews from after I've looked them up a bit to see what people thought of them. It seems like people like them. So we'll clean this up, we'll fix it up, we'll tune it up. I don't see any other damage at all to my buddy the Mitchell. It's funny because one of my best friends a few years ago when I was younger, first coming around the mountain, so to speak, my best friend was Johnny Mitchell. He's not related to the guitar company, but he was a hell of a good guy. So let's see what we can do here now. We'll put this away, and now we'll start doing some cleaning. Got to think about what might be the best way to clean this. And then we'll oil up the fretboard because it looks very dry. This has been sitting in hunger. When you find a leaf inside the body, that's generally not a good sign that it's been moved, so to speak. So I think this is going to go well. So let me get some cleaning stuff, and let me take a look at my junk box and see if I can find some other tuners in there that might just drop in. I put this box on the stove because it's fresh tuna, or tuners, I should say. And I've got a bunch here that are, I don't know. So I'll run through these and see if we can find something that'll work. I need a straight off the bottom. That ain't it. If I can find a straight off the bottom set, that ain't one. And some black screws. So the tuna, the can of tuna is not working out well. I guess I'll have to use the new ones because that's an off to the side. Well, this is a possibility. We can try these guys. This has no back. All right, so we're going to do some serious housekeeping here. Going to get some cleaning done. We've got Zep Cleaner, heavy duty. We've got lighter fluid. And we're going to do not a mix of those together, but try not to spill them all over the table. But we are going to use them individually to try to do a little cleaning up here. Oops. I didn't mean to kick you around. How'd we stay? You're still in the frame? All right, so let's get the mess, as they say, out of here and see how this is all going to clean up and look when it's done. All right, already the headstock looks much better. Just the front. I think this is going to clean up really well. Amazing. This could be the find of the century. And then we'll go down here and do the body. Come with me. Come on. Don't get upset. We're just going to turn. All this is going to get this gunk off. And there's a lot of gunk here to get off. These frets are kind of sharp. We may sand those down also. Try to make them a little better. I found another crack. There's a crack over here, but it's only in the surface of the body. It's not all the way through, so it's not totally broken. It's just disturbed. As they say in the trade, just a little disturbed. So let's get this stuff down. This debris that's on here will come off. I think this is going to go well. I really do. I think this Mitchell is going to be a pretty good take afterwards here. We got one button on there. Finish getting this stuff all cleaned up because it is really dirty. Strap button. And we'll change that to a metal one. for no reason at all except for aesthetics. And then we'll take another blast here and go after the back of the body. And then we're going to hit all this with the Rosignol lighter fluid too. And get that done. Let's get the back of the headstock. It's a two-piece neck. They splice it together to make it. It's amazing. Let's come up here and take a look. See how good the headstock's coming up and the neck is coming out? You can if I show you. So that's that. Now I've got tuners to replace the other tuners. I've got other ones coming too, but I don't give a damn anymore because I don't really need them. It's just easier to swap them out because maybe I'll need them for another project sometime. You never know. This going to the flea market has worked out very well. Okay, so that's that one. Let's come back down here to the body and take another look. Because I think I'll start right here on the back with the lighter fluid. So we'll throw that rag away. We'll get a new one going. And we'll hit this with the Rosignol. And all we're going to do is rub this on and rub it right off. And then when we're all done with all this cleaning and stuff, we'll go back and hit it with some car wax afterwards. Make it all shiny and new. This already feels much, much cleaner. We'll go up here on the headstock and the neck. Clean this all up. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't because you're down the other end. Let's bring you back up to this end and show you how well this is going too. Because this is going very well. And that's cleaning up very good. I got one ding here where they really whacked it. I don't know if you can see that in the binding. Not a big deal, just kind of ugly, but it's in a good place. It doesn't show very much. And I've got some other spots that are back here that look like they might have been paint or something from where it was rubbed up against, but it just all came off a second ago. We'll hit it with some more Rosignol. We'll see if we can't get it to lift the balance of that messy stuff. Now there was some junk that was stuck on. No, that's through the finish. So that part of the finish right here is nicked. But that ain't bad. It ain't good, but it ain't anywhere near as bad as what it could be. So we'll get a little bit more lighter fluid and a clean spot on the rag. And we'll spray this on here and give it another wipe. The lighter fluid takes off all the crap. The cleaner takes off the grime, but the lighter fluid really goes to work in tearing down the real crap that's on here. It's in better shape than I think the guy who sold it to me even realized, because I don't think he knew too much about what he had there, and he never lifted a finger to try to make it any better than what it was, which is fine with me because that's exactly what I was looking for. A rescue guitar that wasn't really as bad as what it looked like. And I think that's what this turned out to be. So we'll clean off the front with the lighter fluid. I dripped a little inside. Let's wipe that off. But this is all cleaning up very well. Now we got to do the fingerboard. And I don't think I'm going to mess with this guitar at all, adding any stuff, especially to the fingerboard. I think I'm just going to leave this one natural, just the way it should have been as a guitar. So I think what I'll do is do a little bit of dressing. With the fretboard. These frets are a little sharp. We've got to hit them with some sandpaper. And I think I want to do that first. All right, so let's take a break for a minute. I'll be right back. I'll get the rest of the stuff I need, and we'll finish up. Now, we're going to try to revive the fingerboard because it's old and dry. We're going to use some linseed oil. Now, we don't need much of this. I only need a little bit. So I'm just going to dampen this and then spread it down and rub it in and let it sit for a few minutes. And then we're going to go back and wipe it all down dry. But first we got to get some in there so it settles into all the pores of the wood and kind of rejuvenates the wood. And then we'll wipe it all down dry and not leave too much residue on there. And it'll be clean and look a little bit brighter. And then we'll get some sandpaper, a sanding block, and do the edge of the frets because I can feel them sticking in me now. We'll see if we can't get this stuff off here. Get it down to a reasonable level, which we can. So it's pretty good up this end. It's pretty good down the other end now too. We'll get all that linseed oil off and let this all settle down. And then we'll sand up the fret sides, especially down here in the end. Maybe some of the frets will lift in a little bit. I'm not sure. They might be. Not quite sure how you tell that, other than just to feel them coming up. You got a thing and we'll try to pop this little piece of thread out of here. And that worked. So I'll be right back again. All right, I'm going to address these frets. And what I'm going to do is just put a piece of tape down to protect the body from the sanding block that I'm going to use so that that doesn't get any more abuse than it's already had in its poor little life. All right, not a big deal. Just a little extra protection. And then we've got a sanding block that's kind of a standard thing. And I'm just going to go up the frets this way and then down over and just take the edge off these guys that were pretty sharp, and they feel better instantly with just a little sanding. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. The top part is pretty good. It's just this lower edge that seems to have gone. I don't know if they may be lifting a bit on the edge. I'm not quite sure how to address that. If they are, it would probably need a refretting. And then we'll just go over the top and sand the frets. I don't have an official sanding block to do the frets with, but I don't think this will hurt. It's a fine grid, and it should take the griminess that there is on these frets and make them feel better. And because I'm going fret to fret, I'm not doing any abuse, I don't think, to the board. So now we've got already have. So that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Let's feel this again. Now, that's not quite as sharp as it was before. There's still a bit of an edge, but they need to be filed and rolled and all that kind of silly stuff. And I'm just not going to get into that, not in this guitar. I don't care about it that much. I just want it to play. Yeah, I think these frets might be lifting up a little bit down on this end, just from age. They probably need a refretting. And guess where that's not going to happen? Right here. It ain't going to happen. On the front of the body, and I think you can see it looks a little better already. I think it looks quite a bit better. Now that's the one. This is the wax. So we'll do a little bit more waxy here. We'll clean this up. And then we'll flip this over and wax the back and wax the sides. with just a little bit of this car polish, just to bring up some of the finish and give it a little bit of a shine. We'll hit Maguire's in the back with a squirt. And we'll do that. We'll take some of the residual wax and hit the neck and the back of the head. You can see where that's going, I think. So we'll lift this up, and we'll do the neck, we'll do the back of the headstock and the edges. And this is looking pretty doggone good for a guitar that was in such shitty looking condition when we got it. Holy McMoly, that's nice. The back especially cleaned up really well. Nice and shiny. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is maybe try to put the tuners on, and then we'll think about putting some strings on and see if this thing will play. I've got couple of different pegs to put in the back for the strings. We may use either one of those because the old ones are just kind of tough looking. These might be too small. We may have to clean up the old ones. And I got some metal ones out there that I may try to insert just to make it look a little cuter. Thought I brought them out, but I guess I didn't. Right, I found a set of tuners in my pile that are very similar to the ones that came off of here. They need to be cleaned up, but they line up with the hole in the back and everything. So this is the ones I'm going to use. I've got to spend a little bit of time cleaning them up. They're a little grubby. They came off another guitar, but they're in pretty good shape. It says they're Grovers. That may be true or it may not be true. They may be knockoffs from China and not really be real Grovers anyway, but that's okay because we're going to clean them up, and that's pretty good. It's got a straight off the bottom screw, so it matches the hole that's already there. We don't have to patch anything. So I got these tuners now, and I'm just going to hand clean them. They came off another guitar. They're older, but they'll actually look like they belong because they're aged, because they are old, but they're in very good condition. They're just a little dirty from, grimy from being old. So we'll just clean these up and we'll recycle them. It says Grover on them. I don't know if they really are or not, because Grover is a good brand name. And I don't remember what I took these off of, to tell you the truth. I don't have the foggiest idea. It was a while ago. So if this thing actually ends up playing good, I'm going to be really proud. This will be one of my best makeovers, or rescues, I should say. It's not really a makeover. It's just a recovery project. I'm pulling this out of the dumpster almost from the flea market. Guy just had it piled up there. In pretty damn good shape for what it was. I'm really pleased about this. I bought one for $65, and I bought one for $25. I forget which one was which. But either way, I spent about $85. What's 65 and 25? It's about 90 bucks for two guitars. If I even get one decent one out of these, that'll be fine. Be well worth the money. So anyway, I'm going to finish cleaning these guys up. Okay, we're ready to put the tuners in. What we've done is we've cleaned them all up. So I got 6 tuners that we have rescued also for this rescue guitar. So let's see, that's going to go this side, that's going to go this side, that's going to go that side, this one's going to go that side, this one's going to go this side, and there's the other one for the other side. So that's those guys. So now we got to get a washer. This takes a washer and a lock nut from the top, and we'll place this on underneath here, put it through, which matches perfectly. We'll just snug these all down finger tight. We'll get another washer, And there's one side that's kind of flat and one side that's rounded. You want to put the rounded side up, just because you can. And it works better that way, that's all. It fits down to the wood a little more secure that way. There's another one. I got that on right, I got that backwards. Nope, that's on right. So we'll do this one. And we'll line this up with the head. We'll tighten that second one up a little bit tighter. I don't want them to be swiveling around, but I do want to be able to move them, because when I turn them over, I got to put a screw in the other side, and I want to be able to adjust them a little bit. Doesn't need a heck of a lot. I just got to be able to wiggle them around. So we'll start up top here. Place this guy in the hole. It's like working for the braille. There we go. And then we'll take a washer and a nut. What a lucky find to be able to find these tuners that are really a perfect match for this guitar. I already had them. If I'd have taken a few minutes to look before I bothered to order the other crummy ones, I would have been ahead of the game by a few bucks too. But anyway, you live and you live. So we'll put the last one in here. And again, if you get bored with this, you can always fast forward. You know, I kind of like showing every little detail that I do, because I put a little time into it. Now, you can see all these have screw holes that are straight down. They line up perfectly with the ones that were here before. So all we got to do is line up the holes and throw in the screws. Put the screws to it, as they say in the trade. We'll just put the screws to it. So let's start here. And see if we can lay these in cleanly. With no funny business. I hope this drill tip is sharp enough. It's spinning a little bit. I don't like that too much. But I'm not sure I have one that's any better in the box. So there's one in. So let's try to do the next one up. That's that one. Got that started. These are going quite well. Get that one snug. We'll take another one and throw it in up above. And I have these already lined up, so it should just go right in the hole and screw in. I love this lighted screwdriver. It's a cheap thing I got at Ocean State Job Lots, which is a little odds and ends store. It has a lot of different odds and ends. It's a place I try to get to every couple of months, because they change their inventory and add things that are interesting. See if we can get that one going. And then we'll go back on the other side and tighten up the lock nuts that are on the other side, because they're still kind of grubby. I don't think I rubbed them up enough. We'll get a fresh rag, maybe even some polish. Okay, so that's that side. Let's flip this over and we'll tighten up the nuts on the Mitchell side. And these were a 10. There's 1. There's 2. Here comes number 3. And Here comes 4. These are not a long stem. I'm just noticing now. Maybe that's why they didn't have a washer with them before, because they're a short stem tuna. I don't know if that'll be a problem. It shouldn't be, I don't think. We just got to cut the strings carefully when we put it in. So that's that. The next thing to do is to start getting some strings and try to put this together like it was a guitar, which is the impression we've been working on it since we started. So, okay, so there was a shim in here, and I put the shim back in. This is a compensated bridge, and I got some new pins that are plastic with the white dots, but they're of the period of what they would have been, so we can restore this to sort of kind of an original condition. So I got to get some strings, and that'll be the next piece. Here's the bridge. There's a wedge under there, so we'll put the wedge back. Oop, I put it in crooked. It fell over. So let's take the wedge out. That was easy. And we need to carefully lay it down. So even when I carefully laid it down, I sprung it. We need the wedge. So we need to carefully just allow it to drop in. There we go. And then we'll put the compensated bridge back in. See how that all works when I get the strings. I still got to get. So here's the strings. We're going to use these Fender phosphorus bronze 60XL extra light. These are 10 to 48 is what it says. 10 to 48. I think that's a pretty good weight for this older guitar. Should give us enough bass side. And we'll work our way up. So we'll start with that. So we want the 6th string should be gold. All right, so now we're going to string it up. That was the right set. I don't know why I was seeing it crooked, but I was seeing it crooked. So we'll see if we can get this down in there and lock it in. We'll run that string up and get ready to tie it up. Then we need the next string in the pile should be a red. Candy apple red is the 5th string. It's nice they got these color coded by the ball end. Makes it real simple to know where the heck you are and which one you're doing. I mean, it's so simple I can do it. We'll run that one up. And now we're into the rescue guitar department. The Lake Placid Blue Telecaster was a brand new guitar that we just commissioned. So let's turn some of these strings out of the way and we'll get ready up here and load them up. This will be the first test to see how well the neck is going to cooperate with how well this guitar is going to play. So this is a dramatic part here. Oops, I didn't mean to kick you again, sorry. Keep kicking you guys all over the place. Sounds like we are the champions. Okay? I'm really looking forward to this. Alright, so let's give this a couple of wraps and then we'll throw it down the hole. Now this may be different from what other people do, but this is the system that I've found works well enough for me. So I want to get that over the top. I want to pull this straight, and I want to get this to flap over. Push this around. I'll give it a good hard tug. Try to cinch it down. And we'll run that up. Now we'll get the amazing string winder. Put that down and try to tighten these down. And see how our first string lays. Well, so far so good. I don't hear any buzz. Let's take a quick look at how that is on the fingerboard. there's no buzz. There's no buzz. This has an absolute possibility of working. Let's rub it on this other string. So that looks good. So let me finish up putting in the strings and we'll come back. The Mitchell has come through in flying colors. I just set it up. I just loaded the strings. The action is perfect. Everything is great. It cleaned up nice. It plays like a dream. I'm going to bring you in the other room with me and we'll tune it again and we'll play it again. The Mitchell. This is a Mitchell guitar that is all finished. It came out nice. It cleaned up really pretty. This is a gem. I had to replace the tuners. No big deal. New strings. A lot of cleaning. A little bit of fretwork. The position, the neck position and everything was great. I did a little bit of a neck straightening. That went really well. Tunes like a dream. I got a brand new set of strings. Doesn't that sound nice? The Mitchell recovered from the flea market for 25 bucks. I think I paid for this guitar. It's worth $150 to $200. It's in really beautiful condition. I replaced the tuners. It cleaned up great. The neck needed a little straightening. So we straightened the neck. The action is perfect. Someone had done a shim under here before, so I reset it the way it was. We put some new pins in. It's great. What a great outcome. There's the beautiful new Mitchell. I didn't add any embellishments. I'm going to leave it kind of natural, just the way nature made it, or Mitchell made it. I'm going to leave it alone. No funny business. And there's the completed Mitchell. Came out really, really, really well. With the condition this was in and with the broken tuner and missing strings and the bent neck, I thought it was going to be a train wreck. Come out perfect.